reports at the top of our edition tonight. Rwanda is set to expand its air transport cooperation and connectivity with 12 new countries following the recent approval of bilateral air service agreements by the cabinet. Representatives of tax and revenue authorities from East African Community member states have emphasized that citizens of these countries need to understand that taxation is the key to achieving sustainable development. On the international scale, Uzbekistan's electrical engineering industry has shown remarkable progress and growth potential. We are once again glad to have your company tonight. We are coming to you live from the heart of Africa, Kigali, and our bringing you tonight's edition is Martina Abera. Let us start off by informing you that the President of the Republic of Rwanda, President Paul Kagame, is in Astana, the capital city of the Republic of Kazakhstan, where he is on an official visit and will also participate in the international forum known as the Astana International Forum. On Wednesday, President Kagame and his counterpart Kasim Jomart Tokayev are scheduled to hold bilateral talks, followed by a joint press briefing. Rwanda and Kazakhstan are exploring areas in which to strengthen their cooperation, including trade, military collaboration, and technology. The Minister of Foreign Affairs of Kazakhstan, while receiving his Rwandan counterpart yesterday, stated that President Kagame's visit marks the opening of a new chapter in the bilateral relations between the two countries. Rwanda is set to expand its air transport cooperation and connectivity with 12 new countries following the recent approval of bilateral air service agreements by the cabinet. These agreements aim to strengthen trade, tourism, and investment ties between Rwanda and the countries that are involved. Adam Squizera with more.
The cabinet meeting chaired on Monday approved the ratification of bilateral air service agreements between the government of Rwanda and the government of 12 countries. The countries are Eswatini, Guinea, Liberia, Malawi, Mali, Zimbabwe, Georgia, France, Poland, Oman, Suriname, and Canada. Bilateral air service agreements are treaties between two countries that permit international commercial air transport services between their respective territories. Speaking to RBA, Dr. Jimmy Gasore, the Minister of Infrastructure, said the new agreements are expected to boost Rwanda's air transport sector while enhancing trade, tourism, and investment between Rwandans and the citizens of these 12 countries. Minister Gasore noted that agreements will grant Rwandan airlines the right to operate flights using the airspace and airports of the signatory countries. This move is expected to facilitate smoother cargo transport, both imports and exports, and increase the flow of people traveling for tourism or business between Rwanda and the 12 countries. The cabinet approved the ratifications at a time when Rwanda is implementing major infrastructure projects to advance its aviation sector. These include the ongoing construction of the new international airport in Wigesera district and efforts to scale up the investments in the national carrier. Rwanda, Adam Squizera, RwandaTV News.
Representatives of tax and revenue authorities from the East African Community member states have emphasized that citizens of these countries need to understand that taxation is the key to achieving sustainable development. To reach this goal, the use of technology in tax collection is seen as the most effective way to reduce tax leakage through corruption and tax evasion by some residents of EAC countries. During a three-day meeting in Kigali that has brought together Tax and Revenue Authority representatives from EAC member states, participants on the first day highlighted that tax compliance remains low among those who are supposed to pay, as explained by James Abola, the chairperson of the East African Revenue Authority's Technical Committee.
Tax agents and clearing agents who are also corrupt, and they want to earn more money by making sure that they they pay less taxes for their clients. And also we have some of our staff who are not honest. We are given the big responsibility of collecting revenue for our respective governments so that the governments can offer services to the citizens of East Africa. And this is a responsibility that we take seriously. And we want that every drop of revenue that we collect goes into the national treasury. It does not end up in pockets of individuals.
This meeting will examine whether the use of technology can offer a solution to improving the delivery of tax services within the EAC region. It comes at a time when Rwanda has demonstrated strong progress in this area, achieving a 95% tax compliance rate for income tax between 2017 and 2022 due to increased efforts in leveraging digital solutions. James Abola explained that citizens of EAC countries must realize that their country's development depends on their own taxes rather than waiting for foreign aid.
We have to find money from taxes to fund our budgets. We cannot continue relying on donors because the donors are withdrawing. So we need to get money to finance infrastructure. We need to get money to finance social services like health and education, and also to finance security and other services. So now when we do not collect all the taxes, then the governments will fail to fund these very critical services.
Participants in the meeting also noted that it offers a valuable opportunity to share experiences and knowledge that can help improve tax-related services that benefit their countries.
In this meeting, we look forward to fruitful information sharing, and we look forward to learning about how to utilize technology so that we can enhance integrity within our respective revenue authorities. I know we will be able to share information from the various revenue authorities and be able to maximize on the lessons learned and the best practices.
However, despite efforts by EAC governments to ease tax and customs procedures for cross-border trade within member states, challenges remain, including traders importing goods and falsely labeling them as originating from EAC countries to evade taxes. The meeting was not attended by representatives from the Democratic Republic of the Congo and Burundi, which is seen as another obstacle to forming and unified resolutions among EAC member states. The Adventist University of Central Africa has launched a community outreach program with the aid of MasterCard foundations to empower young people to use technology and become digital innovators, especially high school students. Nora Gladys has more.
More than 100 students received training and were divided into different categories, including technology in health, education, agriculture, entrepreneurship, and others. They expressed their intention to solve problems within Rwandan society through the use of artificial intelligence and other technological innovations.
Ensure that we get out there and make sure that what we're learning, what we got privileged to learn, we teach other people out there, not just stay in universities, but go outside of the walls of the universities and reach out to the schools, communities, and tell them that innovation is for them too. We are basically focusing on high schools, and we are teaching them big data, machine learning, and making sure that they get to engage in technology in different careers that they want to involve in.
What I see the expectation of this community outreach is that as we gain the help, we have gained the skills, but there are some unlucky ones who are still like debating on what does this do, how can we join the IT department, how can we do this. And by joining the community starting from the secondary school, this is a great thing by giving motivation to the young ones to come, because the young generation are the future of Rwanda.
As long as we are working as the innovation team, it means that we are innovating some things that already exist or some things that are new. to make those crucial and help the people who are the citizens of the country, those who are seeking those services that can be performed or be successful by using the programs or the software that we are working on.
Prince Ishimwe Mukotsi, Head of Software Engineering and Coordinator of the Innovation Center at the university, outlines what is expected from the trained students as part of this community outreach initiative.
We are going to multiply the number of trainers through the people we have trained. So we have trained 100, we equip them with skills, they are going into secondary school, and the total we are targeting 500 students. Secondly, what is the content these students are going to learn? Number one, every company, every institution, either public or private, everyone needs to make decisions that are data-based. So if we start this awareness at the grassroots, let's say the secondary level, to teach students how from a sea, let me use the sea of data, from big data, how can they extract insight out of them? How can they build models from those data? How can they build AI from those data? So this is our prime perspective.
The Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of ICT and Innovation, Yves Iradukunda, stated that the initiative is important and offers hope for the country's future.
We heard what's been said about the partnership that has transpired over the years, the commitment from the learners that have driven us to this very moment where we heard, what I've learned, what I've understood is that the future of our country is in good hands. Whether you look at it from technology adoption, the use of technology to innovate, solving our own challenges, finding solutions that are sustainable, leveraging our young human capital, all the things that everyone would wish to see come together has been done so. All of it in the spirit of supporting the young learners to excel, to make an impact, and to advance our objectives as a country.
It is expected that the 100 AUCA students who launched the program will bring it to 10 high schools across the country.
Students from the University of Rwanda, particularly those supported through the MasterCard Foundation Scholars Program, have been urged to take an active role in fighting against genocide ideology and to participate in activities commemorating the genocide against the Tutsi. On Tuesday, the students, along with University of Rwanda officials and representatives from the MasterCard Foundation, visited the Ntarama Genocide Memorial in Bugesera district. After paying tribute to the innocent people laid to rest at the memorial and receiving an explanation of the history, the youth committed themselves to further studying the events that led Rwanda to the genocide against the Tutsi and to take the lead in combating genocide ideology. Following the visit to the Ntarama Genocide Memorial, the group also supported vulnerable genocide survivors by donating 2 cows and other basic supplies. The acting principal of the University of Rwanda College of Education, Professor Florien Sanganumana, called on students and youth in general to take a visible role in the fight against genocide ideology and to engage in activities that contribute to national development. The Ntarama Genocide Memorial, the Ntarama Genocide Memorial they visited is one of the memorials inscribed on the UNESCO World Heritage List. It was built on the site of the former Ntarama Catholic Church, where over 5,000 people who had sought refuge there during the genocide were killed by the Interahamwe militia in collaboration with soldiers of the then government that planned and executed the genocide against the Tutsi. Survivors of the genocide against the Tutsi in Rubavu district say that the financial support they have received from I&M Bank will help them in their journey of rebuilding their lives, as well as in establishing a memorial garden at the Commune Rouge Genocide Memorial. Staff and leadership of I&M Bank visited the Commune Rouge Genocide Memorial in Rubavu district, where they learned about the history of the genocide against the Tutsi and laid wreaths in honor of the over 5,200 victims buried there. During the visit, I&M Bank donated 23 million Rwandan francs, of which 10 million will go toward the construction of a memorial garden to serve those who come to remember at Commune Rouge, and 8 million will support vulnerable families of genocide survivors. The Ibuka branch in Rubavu district welcomed the donation, noting that it will assist 16 families of genocide survivors in their recovery efforts. I&M Bank CEO Benjamin Mutimura emphasized that standing in solidarity with genocide survivors and participating in commemoration is a duty and a way to promote peace so that such atrocities never happen again. The Rubavu district administration also expressed gratitude for the support, stating that the funding will help ensure the garden is completed effectively and swiftly. A year after the launch of the school lunch support program, known as Dusangire Lunch, the Ministry of Education says it has so far received over 700 million Rwandan francs in contributions. With over 6,000 students enrolled, GS Kagugu Catholic is one of the largest schools in the country. It is among the institutions where the impact of the Dusangire Lunch campaign is most visible, particularly thanks to the support from various partners of the Ministry of Education who donate funds to help feed students, especially those from vulnerable families. The students themselves have noticed the difference this program has made.
First of all, it's a very, very good program that came to support Rwandan students to increase their level of studying. That's how I can say it. This program helped students because there are some students who used to come at school, but then at lunch time when they go back home, they couldn't find some food to eat, so it became so difficult for them to come back here at school because they by that time when they went home they couldn't find that food. That food. But when the program came on, it helped those students. For now, they can study very well and perform well in class.
Dusangire Launch is a program launched in 2024 by the Ministry of Education to allow anyone willing to contribute financially to support the government's efforts in providing lunch to all students in public and government-aided schools. One of the recent contributors is the Rwanda Wood Value Chain Association, which on Tuesday donated 40 million Rwandan francs to the Ministry of Education to support this program. The association's chairperson, Haji Abdul Karim, said that since the government does so much to support the private sector, they in turn find it important to support such impactful initiatives.
We thought of contributing to the school feeding because we had the idea of government which was very important, and we were eager to lend a hand in this program. Well, we have contributed what one can say it's very little according to the government's needs. Schools are very many. What we have contributed can only serve, according to the calculation made today, only 15 schools for a year. Now, that one is just negligible to us. But according to our members who are cross-cutting the country, we should be having more than that of contribution. We are yet to mobilize our members throughout the country to see whether and how we can do it better than today.
Data from the Ministry of Education shows that in 2021, before the launch of the Universal School Feeding Program, the school dropout rate stood at 8.7%. Since the program began, that number has fallen to 4.3%. The ministry states that if parents, partners and others continue to support the Dusangire Lunch initiative, school dropouts could soon become a thing of the past in Rwanda.
Nyiri muto arababwiraga data bati ntabwo agira umukamo mwinshi utunze inka imwe, ariko nigeze acika intege. Mama akinjira mu bucuruzi hari abamubwiraga bati ntabwo watera imbere udakorera mu iduka rigezweho, ariko ntibyamusubije inyuma, yakoranaga umwete. Njya muri kaminuza hari abanshidikanyagaho bavuga ko nashobora kaminuza naturuka mu muryango wifashije, ariko byarangiye nanditse amateka mashya. Igihe cyo gutera ishema umuryango wanjye kigeze, bamwe bakomeje kumbwira bati ntabwo watera umuryango wawe ibyishimo n'ishema, ariko narabishoboye. Hari abakekaga ko nasigira umurage ukomeye abahomokaho, ariko ubu mfite uruganda rutunganya amata. Banki ya Kigali yabaye umufatanyabikorwa wanjye mu rugendo rwose, inzozi zanjye ziba impamo. Bigereho.
Moments. Laying hooks. Getting away. Making moves. Breakfast with family. Inyanje is always there. Whatever the occasion, whatever the moment, always ask for Inyanje.
Thank you for sticking with us on RTV News, and a warm welcome back to other stories making headlines on the international scene. In Uzbekistan's electrical engineering industry has shown remarkable progress and growth potential. Euronews has more.
From household appliances to solar power components, electrical engineering is a powerful driver of Uzbekistan's economy, fueling new business, jobs and exports. But what about global trade challenges as the sector eyes further growth? Manufacturing on a mammoth scale. This is Technopark. It brings together 17 production facilities, covering an area bigger than 60 football pitches.
We specialize on production of home appliances, commercial appliances, industrial heating and cooling solutions, and construction products. Right now, we've reached the capacity of around 1.4 million items manufactured annually.
A 5,000-strong workforce makes it happen, working alongside the latest in production technology.
Various technologies are assembled in one place, starting from raw material and component production, like injection molding, metal processing equipment, and also the final processes like electronic assembly, laboratories, and assembly lines.
Technopark has sealed partnerships with big international companies like Samsung Electronics and Italy's Pietro Fiorentini, which works in the energy sector. It supplies both domestic and foreign markets, with exports going to 25 countries.
Right now, we already export to the nearby countries of the Middle East. We already entered to the European market, and our ambitious to go to the U.S. market as well. Within this year even, we already targeted to make our trial and pilot export to U.S. market.
Also in Tashkent, this maker of wires and cables, including for solar power, already sends around 60% of its products abroad. Now a loan from the European Bank for Reconstruction and Development is set to supercharge its exports further.
Назначение этих денег, приобретение новых технологических линий и новых материалов, в результате чего мы планируем увеличить экспорт кабельной продукции в европейские страны процентов на 40 в 2025 и 2026 годах.
To keep pace with production demands, the company is creating a training center for technical specialists.
Мы сейчас подписали соглашение с Национальным техническим университетом Узбекистана. Мы здесь откроем совместную кафедру, и выбранные нами студенты час обучения будут проходить на нашей территории.
All feeding a sector aiming to reach annual export volumes of almost 2.7 billion euros.
Which European countries are achieving the highest levels of education? Eurostat's latest figures reveal that Europeans are better educated than ever, with women overperforming men in almost every country across the 27-member bloc. Euronews once more.
Schools out for summer, but which European countries have the highest levels of education? In 2024, 44% of EU residents aged between 25 and 34 had completed higher education, just shy of the EU's 2030 target of 45%. Countries like Ireland, Luxembourg and Cyprus lead the way, each surpassing the EU's benchmark at over 60%. Romania, meanwhile, reported the lowest figures at under 30%. Education levels vary by age, with older Europeans less likely than younger people to have attained upper secondary education. The share of people with low-level education decreased from 28% in 2014 to 22% in 2024. Trends in vocational training are shifting significantly in several countries. In Portugal, only 13.5% of older adults with medium-level education held vocational qualifications, compared to 37.2% among younger adults, signalling a wider European move towards skill-focused education. Women continue to outpace men in higher education across the EU. Nearly half of women aged 25 to 34 had completed some form of higher education in 2024, compared to 38.7% of men. That gap widened by just over 1% in 10 years.
And that Euronews story marks the end of our bulletin. Before we close off, let's have a quick recap of our headlines. Rwanda is set to expand its air transport cooperation and connectivity with 12 new countries following the recent approval of bilateral air service agreements by the cabinet. Representatives of tax and revenue authorities from East African Community member states have emphasized that citizens of these countries need to understand that taxation is the key to achieving sustainable development. On the international scale, Uzbekistan's electrical engineering industry has shown remarkable progress and growth potential. And on that note, we've come to the end of our English News Bulletin. On behalf of the news production team as well as the technical team, thank you for sticking with us tonight. And my name is Martina Abera. Up until next time, stay safe and have a good night.
turabasuhuje kandi tubahaye ikaze ku makuru y'iteganyagihe mwateguriwe n'ikigo cy'u Rwanda cy'ubumenyi bw'ikirere Meteo Rwanda. Mukaba mugiye kuyagezwaho nanjye Prote dushimiye Imana. Uyu munsi tariki ya 27 Gicurasi, ikirere cy'u Rwanda cyaranzwe n'urunyurane rw'izuba n'ibicu byaje gutanga imvura mu bice bimwe na bimwe by'intara y'uburasirazuba, amajyaruguru mu mujyi wa Kigali ndetse n'amajyepfo y'intara y'uburengerazuba. Muri iri joro turateganya imvura yumvikanamo inkuba mu mujyi wa Kigali